In this video, I'm going to help you take your IELTS writing to the next level by showing you how to use complex sentences. Just doing this one thing can significantly increase your score for grammar, so it's really important that you know how to do it and practice it before test day. So let's get started. Hi there everyone, and welcome back to another IELTS video from Swoosh English. My name is Grace and I am your expert IELTS teacher for today. Our focus in this video is on improving your grammar score by using complex sentences in your IELTS writing. Now, doing this can really boost the score that you get for grammar because it demonstrates your ability to connect ideas and present them cohesively. First, I'll explain exactly what we mean by complex sentences. Then I will show you some examples of how you can incorporate these into your own writing. So let's begin by talking about what we mean by a complex sentence. A complex sentence is one that contains an independent clause and at least one dependent clause. Now, the dependent clause is there to add extra information to the main idea. Looking at an example then, this is a simple sentence. Traffic congestion is a problem in cities. We have our subject, our verb, and our complement or object. Looking now at a complex sentence, traffic congestion is a problem in cities because car ownership is increasing. So we've made this sentence complex by adding a dependent clause. Car ownership is increasing. Now, if this idea of dependent and independent clauses is confusing to you, don't worry. We're going to look at some more examples now, and I'll show you exactly how you can use complex sentences in the context of an IELTS Part 2 essay. So let's take a look at some of those now. We're going to look first at the use of subordinate conjunctions. Now, subordinate conjunctions like because, although, since, and unless are used to connect a dependent clause to the main clause. For example, although many people own cars, public transport is still important. So you can see in this sentence we've got two clauses separated by a comma, and the ideas are connected by that use of the conjunction although. Another example, many people now choose to take public transport since the price of fuel has rapidly increased. So again, you can see how we're connecting two clauses, two ideas, and connecting those clauses with our conjunction since. So from this, you can see the effect that subordinate conjunctions can have on your writing. They help you to connect ideas and make your writing more cohesive. So this is the first way that you can use complex sentences in your Part 2 essay, and I would like to encourage you now to think of your own sentence using a subordinate conjunction and write it in the comments for us to take a look at. You could use a conjunction like although, since, or because. Have a go, write one in the comments, and then let's continue with our next type of complex sentence. The next type of complex sentence we're going to look at is relative clauses. The purpose of relative clauses is to add information about the subject of a sentence by using who, where, whose, when, which, or that to introduce that information. For example, politicians who campaign for improved public transport tend to perform well in elections. You can see that we've used a relative clause to add essential information about the subject, politicians, by using that relative pronoun who. So this is an example of a defining relative clause where the information that's being introduced is essential for the sentence. Now, an example of the other type of relative clause, which would be a non-defining relative clause, the use of bicycles, which has been increasing year on year, is essential to cutting traffic congestion in cities. Now you'll notice with this relative clause we've got the use of commas. This is because for this type of relative clause you could take out that information that comes after the word which and the sentence would still make sense. Now, don't worry too much about the difference between relative clauses at this moment, but you can see how they really do help to make your sentences more complex, add more information, and therefore communicate your ideas much more cohesively. Now, relative clauses is something that you should absolutely be using in your IELTS writing. If you don't feel confident using them, then I recommend that you get the help of an expert teacher who can take a look at your essays, look at your writing, and show you exactly how to use relative clauses. It's really important as it's going to help you add more detail, connect your ideas more cohesively, and ultimately get a higher score in grammar. So make sure that you feel confident using relative clauses. Now, the next feature that we're going to look at is adverbial clauses. Let's take a look at some examples of those. Adverbial clauses modify the verb in the main clause and begin with subordinating conjunctions like when, while, before, after, as, if, and although. Now, don't worry too much about the technical language I'm using here, adverbial clauses, subordinating conjunctions. Just take a look at some examples. The issue of pollution can be solved if governments take immediate and drastic action. We will begin to see an improvement after stricter measures have been implemented. So really you can see the purpose of these is to modify the main verb in the sentence and to add more cohesion and connect your ideas together. Remember, that's really what we're trying to achieve here with complex sentences. We're connecting our ideas, we're communicating them cohesively, and making it easier for the reader to follow and understand our ideas, explanations, and arguments. Now's a chance for you to put all of this into practice and have a go at writing your own complex sentences. I am going to show you 2 simple sentences and give you some time to combine them into a complex sentence. Think about how you could use adverbial clauses, relative clauses, or subordinating conjunctions to connect the ideas together and make it into one cohesive, complex sentence. Let's have a go at the first one now. Here is your first couple of sentences. Public transport services are efficient. Fewer people rely on private cars. Think about the ideas being conveyed here in these 2 sentences. Can you connect them together into one complex sentence? Think about using subordinating conjunction, a relative clause, or an adverbial clause to get your ideas across. If you want to, take a moment to pause the video and have a go at this for yourself. Once you're ready to see the answer, you can continue. Okay, well done everybody. Let me show you my suggested answer. I've connected this, made it into a complex sentence using an adverbial phrase. So when public transport services are efficient, fewer people rely on private cars. Your answer might be slightly different to mine, and that's okay as long as you've got this idea across. If you're not sure, please feel free to write your answer in the comments and we will check it for you. The next one then, air pollution levels have risen dramatically. Many cities are implementing stricter emissions regulations. Pause the video again and have a go at combining these into one complex sentence. Okay, here is your answer. Because air pollution levels have risen dramatically, many cities are implementing stricter emissions regulations. Once again, you might have used something different. You might have used the word since, and that would maintain the same meaning. But the idea here is that we are combining 2 sentences to make one complex sentence. Your next sentence is, public buses are equipped with free Wi-Fi. This feature attracts more passengers. Now I'm going to give you a little clue here. You need to combine these using a relative clause. So take a moment to think about how you could do that now. Okay, well done everybody. Let me show you the answer. Public buses are equipped with free Wi-Fi, which attracts more passengers. You can see that I've substituted this feature with the relative pronoun which. So in that way, I've combined this information using a nice relative clause. Let's end with one more. Residents are encouraged to use bicycles or walk. This can significantly decrease air pollution and traffic. Take a moment to think about your answer. And here it is. Residents are encouraged to use bicycles or walk, as this can significantly decrease air pollution and traffic. Now keep in mind that maybe you had slightly different sentences to me, and that's okay. If you would like to check any of your sentences, feel free to write them in the comments below and we will look at all of them and correct them if necessary. Well done, everyone, in that activity. I hope that you now have a better understanding of how to use complex sentences. Remember, practice is key to mastering this type of grammar. So make sure that you now go away and practice implementing different types of complex sentence in your own writing. Now, if you are looking for more expert help and advice for the IELTS writing test, I would like to invite you to our IELTS Writing Masterclass. It's absolutely free to attend. All of the sign-up information can be found in the description below this video, so I really do hope to see you in that masterclass very soon. Thank you so much for joining me, everyone. Happy studying and goodbye.